What's going on, everyone? This is Randall Pace. Today, we're going to do some Linux administration. All right, we're going to do some automation and we're going to be checking system health. All right, checking the system health is going to be an essential part of administration. You have to manage your servers and know when the different processes are going, when how much memory you have, their disk space, uptime, things of that nature. Right, and we're going to be doing this for a single machine. Obviously, if we use tools such as Ansible, we'd be able to do it for multiple. But today, we're just going to be doing it for one. All right. So first, what I'm going to do here today is we're first going to start by creating a folder just for our system health. All right. So how do you do that? You make a folder by using mkdir. All right. And we're just going to call this, let's call it sys health. All right. Let's call this folder sys health. And if we take a look here at our ls, you'll see sys health right here that it has been made. All right. And what we're going to do here is go inside of our sys health and we're going to actually make a script. All right. So we're going to automate this. All right. So usually, let's go back a little bit. Usually, what you have to do is you have to know your commands. Right. So things such as top or df minus h to check your disk space, or you have to use free minus m if you want to see it in the um, smaller version there, okay? Things of that nature, right? So you have to type these things such as uptime. But if you automate this, it makes it a lot easier because you'll be able to do this with just one line. You'll be able to see everything, okay? So this is why we want to automate this here. And if I mess up, you guys are going to see it. All right. So let's go ahead and get going here. All right. So you see here, sys health, I'm doing ls here. I don't have anything here. I'm going to make a script and we're just gonna name this we're just gonna name it health in here, right? So let's name it health. All right. So how do you do that? We're gonna name it touch is going to create a say empty file health.sh. All right. So that's just usually what you want to use to know that you're going to be using a script. All right. So one thing that you have to understand about scripts is you have to have permission to execute them. So what we're going to do before we do anything else is, and I want to show you what it's going to do here. If you use LL, notice how my health.sh is gray. Right. So I'm going to modify this here and I'm going to add the ability to execute this. Okay. So once we add the ability to execute it, it is now lighting up. All right. So whenever we make our script, it is now going to be executable. All right. You can see that right here. All right. It's executable for everyone. And that's how we're going to keep it for now. All right. So let's go into this. And I like to use Vim. Some of you guys may like to use other things, but I like Vim. So I'm going to use that. Okay. First things first, when you're writing your scripts, I use the bin bash. So the first thing you always have to do is make your bash line here, bin/bash. And once again, if I mess it up here, you guys are gonna see everything live. So we're just gonna troubleshoot this thing together, all right? Bin/bash, all right? Let's think, what do we want this thing to do? Let's document. What do we want this to do? This script will check server health, all right? And what things do we want to check? Let's check uptime. Let's do disk space and one more. Let's do free space. We'll do free space as well. All right, we're gonna check the memory. All right. So we're going to, I'll just name that memory. We're gonna check uptime, disk space, and memory. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to create a variable for these. We could make these without a variable, but I'm going to make a variable for all of these. Okay. And the first one I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna just name it up. All right. So for uptime, I'm just going to call it up and we're going to make up equal to uptime. Okay. We're going to make up equal to uptime. All right. So what's going to happen here is when we use up, it's going to automatically know, hey, instead of using this up, it's going to take uptime. All right. And we're going to also have our disk space. So I'll just name this disk space. Simple as that. And we're going to use, we have to actually use the command that usually would give you that. Okay. So to check the disk space, use df minus h, make it readable in human form. All right. And we're going to also have memory. All right. So let's see, we name it memory. And you have to know the command. Okay. So the command is free. I like to do free minus m. Okay. So these are going to be the variables that we use. So we don't have to type out uptime or type out df minus h or free minus m. Okay. And very simply, what we're going to do here is we're gonna have to use a couple commands that allow us to use these things. Okay. One that you're gonna get very familiar with is echo. All right. So echo is actually just going to put out whatever you want it to do. All right. So we're going to start off with the echo just to give us a free space. Okay. So echo is going to give us a free space. And we're going to echo again. Oh, making me sign in again here. We're going to have our first line, and it's just going to say system health check. All right. We're just going to name it system health check. Very simple here. System health check. And we're going to close that off. All right. And the first one that we're going to show is our uptime. All right. So we're going to have a free space and we're going to make another one here. And we're going to say, here is the uptime metric. All right. Give me another little free space here. And what we're going to do is echo. Actually, that's going to give you an error if you don't have a space there. Make sure you have your space. We want to echo uptime. Okay. So we're going to echo and we're just going to take our variable right there, right? So it's going to take our up, okay? And that should give us uptime, all right? And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and just kind of check it here before we go too far, just to make sure I have the syntax and things like that, right? Like I said, if I mess it up, you guys are going to see it, right? So you have to press escape and WQ to write it here, okay? And when you are running your script, you have to do dot slash, then the name of it to run the script. So we'll see if I did this right. If we didn't, then we'll have to see what's going on, okay? So let's do dot slash health. And as you can see here, my bin bash has something going on with it here. But as you can see, we did get our system health check. Here's the uptime metric, and we got the uptime. Okay. So let's go back into it. Maybe I just did something wrong here. Okay. I see what I did wrong there. You can't put the, I don't know why I did that. You got to put the comment first and then the exclamation point. All right. So something simple. All right. So we got the uptime there. We also have the disk space and we have memory. All right. So we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to echo. We're going to give us a little room there. And we're going to echo again. And we're going to say, here is the disk space. All right. Here's the disk space. And we're going to echo, give us a little room. Echo. And we're going to just tell it to give us this space right here. All right. Pretty simple. Echo. And we're going to echo again. And now we want to see the free memory. All right. So now we're going to say here is the memory metrics. Give us a little room there. And yeah, we're using a lot of echoes. It's just an example here. All right. And we're going to tell it to give us memory. Okay. So what this should do is this should give us all of these in one. So we don't have to press uptime and then have to do df minus h, then have to do free minus m. So we should be able to just call this and it should just give us all of this at one time. So when you can do things like this, it makes your life a lot easier as an administrator to just be able to have one line and you can see all of this here. All right. So if we once again run our script, health, look at that. Look what we got right there. So we ran one line, and we got all of the things we need here as it's not letting me, oops, not letting me use it for some reason. But as you can see, it's giving us everything we need here. We got the uptime, we got our disk space, we got our memory metrics here. Okay, so that is an example of automation. Now I'll show you one more thing here. That's something cool that you could possibly even do. We could even let's go back into it. Let's test something out here, right? Now, let's say that we also want this to put all of this in a file. Okay, so we're going to take everything that we have and we're going to put this in a file within this same exact um script here. All right, so to do that, what you need to do is tell the script to create a file. So I'm just going to add this towards the bottom and I'm just going to put a hashtag here. Here is the example of putting all this into a single file. Okay. So to do this type of stuff, you just have to know your basic commands, understand what your commands do, your directions, redirections, things of that nature. Okay. So we're going to direct all this to a single file. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to tell it to touch. And the thing is, we're going to use the path. Okay. So we're going to have to do slash, which is our root, home, RJ Pace, which is my folder here, and it is syscheck, I believe. Is it syscheck or syshealth? Syshealth, I think. I think it's syshealth. And we're going to name this. We're just gonna name it test file. We're gonna name it test. We're gonna name it test. Cool, cool, cool. All right. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all of these right here and we're gonna put this into this single file right here. Okay. So let's see if we can redirect. We're going to touch. Let's see. Touch. Oh, sorry, not touch. We're going to echo. We already have our file made. So this is going to make our file. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our different metrics in there. So let's see if we can do this way. Up. And we're going to redirect this into our file here slash home slash RJ paste. And this should work as long as I made all of this correctly here. Okay. So what this is going to overwrite the file. Okay. So when you have one redirection here, it's going to overwrite it. If you have two right here, it's going to add to the end. So we're just going to overwrite it here first. Um, and actually, let's do this. Let's echo. Let's echo time of checkup. We're going to echo time of checkup and we're going to call date. Okay. So this is going to actually give us the date that we're calling it here. All right. Let's do that. And let's give us a little room right here. Okay. So this is going to give us the time of the checkup and then it's going to show us our uptime. All right. So we could really do the same type of thing on what we said. Here's the disk space, here's the, but we're not going to do all that just for the sake of time. I'm just going to show you guys that you would be able to do it as long as I have this correct here. Okay. Let's see. And for this one, we're going to have to direct it into slash home slash RJ paste slash sys health slash test. Oops, test. Okay. All right. And now that we have that, I'm going to use the double here to just add that to the end of it. So it should have the time of checkup, and then the next line under that should be the uptime. Okay. So let's see. Let's just test it first and see. Let's make sure we got our syntax right and things of that nature. Let's make sure that we did it right. If not, we'll troubleshoot a little bit. And actually, before we do that, let's make sure, let's tell it, let us know that it's going to do that. Let's do echo check test file. Okay, so we're gonna tell it to tell us to check the test file here. And yep, let's try it here. Let's see what we got. Okay, now if we do LL, notice that it did give us a test file right here. All right, so let's use cat to see if it put it in there correctly for us. And if we use cat, you can see time of checkup right here, and it gives us the uptime. All right. So notice that this will continue to update. If we run it again here, boom, and then we do cat test, notice that the time changes because every time you run the script, it's going to take it from that point of time. All right. And notice, remember that we use the overwrite redirection there. Okay. So let's add one more to it here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Okay. Hope this was helpful for you guys. Me doing this is helping me probably a lot more than it's helping you guys, but you know, I love to just hop on here and show you guys stuff. All right. Oh, let's see. What else do we want to do? Echo, give us a little space, and we'll do here is the last metric for today, and we'll do disk space, all right? And we'll get another echo in there. We love echo, huh? Oops, look at that. Gotta remember to do our thing there. And we'll echo, actually, yep, that's correct. Echo that, but remember, we gotta send it to our file slash home slash RJ paste slash sys health slash test. And remember, this is going to add it to the end, okay? This is going to add it to the end there. Add it to the end. All right. And now all we have to do is send our disk space. So what do we do? We had it as just disk space, right? Yeah. Disk space, boom, and we want to redirect that into our folder that we created, okay? So this is very useful. We either have the option, well, we got both, but here you got the option to automate it, and you can automate it to send it to a file. So automation is really, really helpful. And this is just a real life example of a um just something that you could really do as a system admin here, as a Linux admin. All right. I mean, there are more metrics that you could possibly check, but we're gonna keep it here. And let's run our script one more time. Hopefully we got no mess ups here. Check tests. So we're gonna cat test. And as you can see, here we go. Time of checkup. We got our uptime here. Last metric for the day, disk space. And there we go. All right. So I hope this was helpful. Once again, this was just going over scripting and automation. And this was a real life example of something that we could really automate, right? So taking this time out can really make your life a lot easier. You can have that time to handle those bigger tickets. All right. So this is Randall Pace, man. Hope you guys found this useful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a good one.